clicked this video probably because you're looking for the easiest way to keep your head still or down in the golf swing so you can finally make solid contact with the golf ball way more often. Keeping your head still isn't helping your golf swing at all. It's actually making things worse. In today's video, I'm going to show you why this is the case and a great move that you can do and apply into your golf swing. Very quickly, it's going to help you strike the golf ball pure way more often, making contact out the middle of the golf club every single time. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Harry, a golf teacher professional here to help you transform your golf game. And if you do take these tips and drills on board in your own game, I'd highly recommend clicking that subscribe button below and switching that bell icon to all so you don't miss out on more content coming your way. And also it helps me produce more content like this to help you further improve your game. Now, the reason why keeping your head still is ruining your golf swing, and we need to be allowing this free motion that I'm going to show you later on in the video, is simply because as we make our way up to the top of the swing and we keep our head still, it makes things very difficult for us to allow for the rotation and tilting of the upper body to take place all the way up to the top of the backswing. The difference here, if I keep my head still, try and keep my head still, okay, I can only swing so far without bending my lead arm. Eventually I'm going to be tempted to bend this lead arm, my left arm in the golf swing, and that's going to cause me to push the hands out way too much in reaction to this, and then I'm still trying to keep my head still or down. Well, I know from now I'm going to be making contact with the ground first. The low point with the iron should be ahead of the golf ball, and it's miles behind. It's going to be miles behind simply because of that movement right there. So from this position here, I've got to then drag the arms in towards me, and that creates a lot of flexion with the lead arm and too much flexion with the trail arm. We want to see it where we can allow for this rotation on the way back, and you can see there the way my head is moving with the body up to the top of the swing, and then allow that rotation to take place on the way through. My head is still moving as opposed to keeping it bang on still throughout that golf swing. So it's causing those two dodgy strikes with the irons and probably the driver when we start hitting the ground first or topping the golf ball, depending on how we react and get this motion taking place on the way through, that awkward impact movement that no one likes to see. So in simple terms, we don't want to be keeping our head still in the golf swing throughout that golf swing or keeping the head down, simply because it limits the amount of rotation until that we can create. And you could see then from that dodgy swing that I just made, it is not doing your swing any good. So how we want to be looking into changing this is first off learning how we should be allowing that head movement to take place, and that's all down to what the upper body does in the golf swing. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of believing that they're lifting their head up way too soon as they make their way through to that finish position, topping the golf ball, and thinking that this is all down to lifting the head up at impact. Now, it's not. Okay, so if I was to lift my upper body up in the downswing, this could be another course, by the way, on the way through. I've pushed my hands out this way and I've lifted my upper body upwards. I've not lifted my head up. My head's not moved, it's not gone like this or side to side like so. A bit silly, I know, but it's not done that, has it? It's my upper body that's lifting up out the way. So we've got to learn two things: how we can rotate efficiently and tilt efficiently in the backswing and follow through. We've also got to learn how we can stay down in the downswing, how we can work on this movement and stay down in the golf swing to allow for that strike, ball and surf interaction with the irons, but also that solid contact with the woods and driver. So beginning off then with the rotation side of things, we noticed earlier that we made hardly any rotation from trying to keep that head still. So what I want you to do to exaggerate things to begin with is taking the club across the shoulders, and I want you to see how far behind the golf ball you can get that butt end of the club to point. So I've got this club, butt end of the club on my trail side here, just so I can rotate into the backswing, really trying to get that butt end of the club to point as far away behind the golf ball as I possibly can. And that's quite far away, isn't it there? You can see my shoulders from that camera angle here are well past that 90-degree point. My hips are rotating a lot more as well. And in order for me to do this, look, my head is moving. my head is moving and tilting with the body as opposed to keeping my head down trying to look at the golf ball. So really forcing this action to take place here is just going to give you that great sensation of, right, let's exaggerate this when we start hitting a couple of shots. You want to be staying down up until about this point here. So where the button in the club is pointing on the opposite side. Imagine like a mirror image where the button in the club is pointing here, club end here, and then we can make our way through to that finish position. And that finish position here, looking at from that camera angle there, my chest is facing towards the wall behind. Now I've got to tell you what a lot of golfers get wrong when they try this. So many golfers get this wrong when they try this, just simply because they're not doing this motion right here. So watch this here. As I make my way into the backswing and I rotate, this is what I see so many golfers do. They go this way to do it, just exaggerating things here. Look at where that button in the club is pointing. It's pointing nearly towards the cameras over here. Well, we want that button in the club to continue pointing towards the golf ball and then moving along past, imagining there's a line being drawn from the golf ball all the way down in line with the target line to take that button in the club on as we make our way into that backswing position. Now that's just helping me keep that tilted motion in my spine angle, that almost 45-degree angle that we always want to see as we make our way into the top of the backswing. We don't necessarily want to see our upper body begin to lift up, lead shoulder here begin to overtake or go above the trail shoulder in the backswing, because then we're going to be reacting and having to come back down that way. And that's no good for that over the top move, especially. So all we're just making sure here is, as we're practicing this and doing this very slowly, is just allowing our head to follow the body, but ensuring our butt end of the club and then club end on the way through are pointing towards the ground more. Ever so slightly over the golf ball is acceptable, but we don't want to see it over here. We want to see the butt end of the club pointing over the golf ball, just on the line over the golf ball, and on the way through, club end over the golf ball on the way through as well. So anywhere around this proximity here of about 2 inches in front of the golf ball to the ball's target line here. Imagine we're drawing a massive rectangle here. That's where we want to take the club on. That's where we want to get the butt end of the club to point this way, and then the club end to point at on the way through. And that's just going to make things much easier for you to get that added tilt, as well as really exaggerating that rotation. Okay, so after you've hit a couple of shots getting used to this, we want to be looking into how we can start to stay lower in that golf swing. As I mentioned before, the reason why our head is lifting up isn't because our head is moving, it's simply because of the way our upper body tilts on this upward motion too much on the way through. So let's look into now how we can stay down in that golf swing as we make our way through to impact. Just before I do, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to the sponsors to the channel, GX Golf. They provide high quality golf clubs for a fraction of the price in comparison to its competitors out there on the market. Using my discount code below, Harry10, you can get yourself a great 10% discount on their bundle packages. Recommend checking them out, link in the description below. So looking at this staying down motion more, I'm going to give you another great drill that you can do without the club. Actually, it's going to really help you with this. I've mentioned this in a few videos recently just because of how powerful this movement can be. So we're going to take the hands and place them either side of our thighs like this here. Set up in that posture. And I want you to imagine that you're going to make that full rotation that we've been working on in the backswing, and then full rotation that we've been working on in that downswing and through to finish stage. But all we're doing differently here is we're going to take our trail hand, place it on our thigh, and we're going to allow this trail hand to move upwards until it touches the right hip. And you can see here, as I've done this movement on the way back, my lead hand has moved down towards the left knee here. So this is really encouraging me here to almost push my hip back a little bit more as I make my way into the top of the backswing. I'm really getting that rotation in the hips and shoulders still, imagining that that club is across the shoulders and getting the shoulder alignment to point somewhere on that rectangle we mentioned earlier, just to really open up this movement. But it also feels like I am stretching my hip further backwards, more towards the wall behind me. Now this little bit of head movement you can see when I'm doing this, that is absolutely fine. That's something for you to get used to when you start looking at the golf ball. The head doesn't move as much as you can see. It moves at the end a little bit, just simply because we've got to allow it to continue that rotation into the top of the backswing. But just for the time being, don't look at the ball. Just let your head move the way it wants to. And on the way through, right hand, the trail hand is going to go down towards the right knee as my lead hand goes towards my left knee. And this is the key bit here. A lot of golfers very quickly lift upwards out of the posture like this here on the way through. We've got to get that movement where the hip is continuing to rotate as my lead hand touches my lead hip. And that there straight away, if we were to draw a line on my glutes here just behind me, and I just make my way into the backswing and then downswing, my hips and my glutes should be touching the line still or moving past the line. So that's a really good indication that we're going to be staying down in our posture and therefore staying down throughout that impact motion. And that's just going to make the strike so much easier for you. So have a couple of shots just working on those two motions, either side, the rotation, the tilt, and the staying down in the golf swing. And that strike there was really nice and pure. A-time that was, a little bit of a draw, really pleased with that one. And after a few attempts of doing this, you think you want more information on how to stay down in the golf swing, I've completed a full video right here for you to go and take a look at. So if you found these tips and drills useful for your own golf game, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to all, as it helps to produce more content like this to help you improve your game. And we'll see you in the next video. Why not drop a comment as well what you would like to see next. Thanks for watching. We'll see you over in that one.